There comes a moment in every soul's journey when the outer world becomes too loud and the inner world begins whispering truths you can no longer ignore. You feel it before you understand it, a pull inward, a soft ache, a quiet knowing that something in your life is ready to change. Not through force, not through strategy, but through alignment. Swami Radha taught that transformation begins the moment you become willing to listen to the voice you've spent years silencing. The voice beneath your fear, beneath your conditioning, beneath the persona you learned to perform. Your inner voice, not the one shaped by expectations, not the one trained to please or obey, but the ancient, unbroken voice you were born with, the voice that remembers who you really are. Most people run from it. They drown it in noise, in distraction, in busyness, because the truth it carries is too honest, too precise, too liberating. But liberation always begins with honesty. And honesty begins with listening. You are here because your inner voice has been knocking for a long time, in your dreams, in your discomfort, in your longing for something more real, more aligned, more sacred. And here is the truth Radha offered with such clarity. When you stop abandoning yourself, destiny stops abandoning you. The universe does not open its doors to a divided soul. It waits patiently until you return to yourself. And the path back is always the same: silence, sincerity, self-inquiry, trust. This is the turning point. The moment your inner voice becomes more important than the noise around you. You begin to notice small things. A place that once felt comforting now feels heavy. A relationship that once felt necessary now feels draining. A habit that once kept you numb now feels suffocating. A dream you once ignored now feels alive again. These shifts are not random. They are rearrangements. They are the first movements of destiny preparing itself around your alignment. Because destiny does not respond to demands. It responds to truth. Imagine your life as a vast lake. For years, the surface has been disturbed. Ripples of doubt, waves of fear, storms of confusion. But now, quietly, gently, the water has begun to settle. Clarity does not come from the storm. It comes from the stillness that follows. Swami Radha called this the light of awareness. The moment you see your own consciousness clearly, without distortion, this light does not shout. It reveals. It reveals the next step, the next conversation, the next boundary, the next realization, the next version of you. And when you trust it, when you follow that inner guidance, even when you don't have proof, even when you can't predict the outcome, even when the world misunderstands, that is when destiny opens its door, not because you forced it, because you matched its vibration. Destiny is not a faraway event. It's a frequency, a place inside you where courage meets clarity, and clarity meets action. And in this moment, you are entering that frequency. You're beginning to see the signs. You feel less interested in proving yourself and more interested in understanding yourself. You feel less drawn to chaos and more drawn to peace. You're no longer impressed by intensity, but deeply moved by sincerity. Your soul is maturing. Swami Radha would say this is the moment your ego loses its grip and your essence begins to lead. This is not a collapse. It is a return to the truth you abandoned to survive the expectations of the world. Now, the world no longer dictates your path. Your inner voice does, and it speaks in the language of intuition, in the rhythm of silence, in the honesty of your own heart. The doorway of destiny opens not when life becomes easier, but when you become clearer. And clarity begins here, with listening, with trusting the voice that has waited years to finally be heard. Stay with me, because now we go deeper into the sacred signals that appear when your inner voice becomes the compass of your life, and when destiny begins rearranging everything to meet the truth you are finally ready to live. You begin to feel something you haven't felt in years, a quiet strength rising from within. Not dramatic, not loud, not demanding attention. A strength made of stillness. A strength made of knowing. A strength made of finally coming home to yourself. When you trust your inner voice, something extraordinary happens. Your life stops feeling accidental. Moments begin to line up. Conversations carry meaning. Even your solitude feels purposeful. This is the inner orchestration Swami Radha spoke of. The hidden intelligence of your own consciousness guiding you toward what is true and gently dissolving what is false. You start recognizing the illusions you once followed, the voices that were never yours, the expectations you carried because you didn't know how to let them go. They lose their power over you, not through resistance, but through clarity, because once you hear the truth within yourself, everything else sounds unconvincing. This is the great shift. You stop moving through life by force and start moving by alignment. You no longer push doors that are closed. You wait for the one that welcomes you. You no longer chase validation. You validate your own spirit. You no longer beg for signs. You become one. Your inner voice begins revealing a new kind of direction. A direction that feels gentle, but unmistakable, like being guided toward light, even with your eyes closed. It might come as a sudden sense of, "I can't live like this anymore," or a quiet whisper saying, "There is something more for you," or a deep exhale after years of holding your breath. You start feeling safe inside your own presence. You stop bargaining with your intuition. You stop arguing with your soul. You stop betraying yourself to be agreeable. You begin honoring what you once ignored. Your boundaries, your energy, your emotional truth, your unspoken longings. Swami Radha taught that the greatest betrayal is not what others do to us, but what we do to ourselves when we silence the wisdom within. Your inner voice does not speak in fear. Fear shouts. The inner voice whispers. Fear demands. The inner voice invites. Fear limits. The inner voice liberates. And the moment you choose liberation, your destiny feels it. It begins to shift, to open, to reorganize itself around your clarity. Suddenly, things that once felt impossible begin moving with surprising ease. The right people feel drawn to you. The wrong people lose interest. Opportunities appear without force. Old emotional patterns dissolve without the struggle they once required. It's not magic, it's coherence. A harmony between who you are and how you live. This harmony is what destiny responds to. Not desperation, not performance, not self-sacrifice, but inner truth, inner alignment, inner devotion. Swami Radha believed that destiny is not a reward, but a reflection, a mirror of your inner state. When you distrust yourself, your path becomes confusing. When you abandon yourself, your path becomes chaotic. When you numb yourself, your path becomes dim. But when you trust yourself, your path becomes luminous. And that is what is happening to you now. Your light is returning. Your intuition is resurfacing. Your sacred intelligence is awakening. You are beginning to live from the inside out, from truth instead of fear, from clarity instead of confusion, from fullness instead of longing. It is the quiet teacher who never left you, even when you left yourself. It is the divine thread that leads you out of the past and into the life meant for you. And now, because you've started listening, the thread has become visible again. You can feel it, subtle, steady, unmistakable. A pull toward your own becoming. And here is the truth you needed to hear. Your destiny has been waiting for your trust. Not your perfection, not your readiness, not your confidence, just your trust. The moment you trust your inner voice, you stop walking toward your destiny with fear, and you start walking with devotion. And destiny recognizes devotion instantly. You are no longer lost. You are no longer behind. You are no longer searching for signs. You have become the sign, the evidence of your own awakening, the proof that when a soul returns to its truth, life responds. You are stepping into a new field of energy now, one shaped by sincerity, insight, courage, and the gentle radiance of your own awareness. Stay here. Stay with this clarity. Stay with this softness inside your chest. From this place, every next step will feel guided, not by fear, not by others, but by the calm, luminous voice that has always known the way. There comes a moment when you realize your life is no longer moving from the outside in, it is unfolding from the inside out. Your choices come from clarity, not from fear. Your boundaries come from self-respect, not from anger. Your direction comes from intuition, not obligation. This is the quiet power that arises when you finally trust your inner voice. Swami Radha taught that every soul holds a lamp inside it. But most people are too distracted to light it and too afraid to follow where it leads. But you have begun to light your lamp. You have begun to listen. And because you've begun to listen, your life has started to align. You may not see all of it yet, but destiny never announces itself loudly. It shifts quietly, like dawn light entering a dark room, transforming everything without making a sound. And this is the dawn moment of your life. The moment when the path ahead becomes illuminated not by certainty, but by trust. Trust is a spiritual doorway. Once you step through it, everything becomes responsive. Your inner world becomes your guide. Your outer world becomes your mirror. Your challenges become your teachers. Your silence becomes your sanctuary. And the voice within you, the one you used to ignore, becomes the only voice that feels true. You begin to understand that destiny is not something you chase. It's something you allow, something you align with, something that rises to meet you when you stop betraying yourself and start honoring what you know. Your life begins to soften. Your steps become intentional. Your choices become lighter. Your mind becomes quieter. You feel a new kind of security, one that doesn't come from control, but from surrender. Not from knowing what will happen, but from knowing who you are. Life no longer feels random. It feels responsive, alive, attuned, intelligent. You begin to feel guided, supported, held, as if something greater has taken your hand and is gently leading you forward. Nothing dramatic, just a subtle, sacred alignment between your soul and your steps. This is what happens the moment you trust your inner voice. Destiny opens its door, not with noise, but with recognition. It recognizes the truth in you. It recognizes the courage in you. It recognizes the devotion in you. And it says, now you are ready. Come. The life that resonates with your spirit begins calling your name. The opportunities meant for your growth begin moving toward you. The relationships that honor your essence begin appearing. The peace you once chased begins blooming inside your own chest. Nothing was ever missing. You just weren't listening. But now you are. And that single shift has rewritten your entire path. Before we close, place your hand gently over your heart. Feel its warmth. Feel its intelligence. Feel the ancient, knowing presence that has guided you through storms you thought you would never survive. This heart has never lied to you. This heart has never abandoned you. This heart has never stopped speaking to you. And now you are finally speaking back. Let these words become your inner mantra. I trust the light within me. I honor the truth I feel. I choose clarity over fear. I choose presence over noise. I choose myself. And as I choose myself, destiny chooses me. Breathe into that. Let it settle into your being. Let it become the foundation on which you walk forward. Because your life will never return to what it was. You have stepped into a higher clarity, a deeper awareness, a quieter power. And from this day forward, your destiny is not something ahead of you. It is something awakening within you. Your inner voice is not just guidance. It is the path. It is the teacher. It is the doorway. And you have finally walked through it. The moment you trust your inner voice, the universe aligns in ways your mind could never have orchestrated. Welcome to the beginning of the life meant for you.